Best friends Haley and Claire are enjoying their last summer days at a small beach town in Bay Bridge near Tampa before Haley moves to Australia due to the nature of her mother's job as a marine biologist. While they're having fun, Haley points out to Claire that summer's almost over and Claire hasn't gone anywhere near the water, but Claire brushes it off. After hanging out at the beach that afternoon, the girls help Claire's grandparents in closing up. On their way home, the girls encounter Leonard, the town's mysterious handyman, whom they see as creepy. At home, Haley refuses to pack her things just yet. She then gets into an argument with her mom about having to move all the time and being the new girl every single time. But her mom gets fed up with the attitude after trying to convince her that it's for the best and leaves. Later that night, Haley joins Claire for their beach campout. Claire tries to ask Haley if there's anything they can do so Haley can stay. Haley then playfully makes a wish like she's casting a spell. And following that wish is a violent storm that leaves the whole beach in a mess the following morning. That morning, after the storm, the girls rush out to take a look around the place, while Claire's grandparents work with Raymond to start cleaning up. Claire goes too close to the pool and accidentally falls in, prompting Raymond to immediately dive in after her. While struggling inside the pool, Claire sees a mermaid staring at her. She lets out a scream, but that's when Raymond reaches her and carries her out of the pool. Outside, Claire informs everyone that there's a shark or some sort of wild sea animal in the water. Her grandfather then asks them to go inside and tells Raymond to close down the pool until it's cleared. As the girls leave, Claire tries to explain to Haley what she saw, but Haley is too distracted by the fact that Claire was rescued by their crush. Claire then explains to her that it was staring at her, so Haley tells her to meet her back at the pool at 9 p.m. Later that night, both girls sneak into the pool to see what it is that Claire cannot shut up about. Haley dumps some food in the pool to try to get its attention, but that doesn't seem to be working. Well, at least until the girls start bickering. The girl finally surfaces, and the girl realizes that it's a mermaid. She scares the girls a little and then shows off her powers to control small waves, which fascinates the girls. She tells them that they need to see her dad's own waves, and that he in fact made the waves that followed the storm last night. The girls then asked why he would do that, and she explains to them that her dad is mad at her for running away from home. Not only that, she ran away from her engagement to someone she didn't want to be with. While the girls may be enjoying her company, they're forced to run when Leonard starts coming to investigate what all the noise is about. Haley then promises her that they'll be back by morning and asks her to remain hidden. The following morning, the girls hear a sound coming from the pool and rush out to investigate, only to find out that Leonard has drained the pool. Thankfully, the mermaid seems to have left, but the girls begin to wonder where she could have gone. Suddenly, they hear a sound coming from the board shack and realize that the mermaid must have hidden there. Haley asks how she got out, and she reveals to them that mermaids have the ability to obtain legs during the daytime, and their tail comes back by sundown. She then introduces herself to the girls as Aquamarine, while the girls introduce themselves. Claire then asks Haley to give Aquamarine her shirt, since apparently Aquamarine is in her birthday suit. Afterward, they take her to Claire's room, where Aquamarine gets a call from her shell phone. The girls then excuse her so she can talk to her dad, and after the call, Aquamarine breaks it to the girls that she has 3 days to return home, but must prove to her dad that love exists, so the engagement can be called off. She explains to the girls that her people don't believe in love, so her father thinks she's loose in the head for wanting love. To make things more difficult for the girls, Aquamarine chooses Raymond as the person she wishes to experience love with. She approaches Raymond, but displays a bit of social awkwardness by asking Raymond directly if he loves her, and she gets rejected. She then pleads with the girls to help her get Raymond. The girls disagree at first, but when Aquamarine reveals to them that they can be granted one wish if they help a mermaid, the girls realize that they can wish for Haley not to move and immediately agree to help Aquamarine. Meanwhile, Leonard finds a familiar-looking pendant at the base of the pool. The girls head to Claire's house and start by sharing their magazines with Aquamarine to prepare her for the fair and how she would behave to get Raymond's attention. The plan actually works, and Aquamarine gets to spend the whole trade fair with Raymond while the girls watch them from a distance. Raymond takes Aquamarine on the powerboat where he plans to ask her out, but when Aquamarine realizes that it's almost sundown and she'll have to turn back into her mermaid form, she tells Raymond that they have to get to shore quickly and starts calling out to Claire and Haley. The girls then ask the other couples on their boat to help Aquamarine cross over, saying she has a health emergency. They then line their boats up for her, enabling her to leave Raymond. As she reaches the girls, she tells them that they have to find water for her to spend the night. Haley then suggests the ocean, but Aquamarine explains to her that her dad will only sense her and pull her back home with the current. Claire then tells her that she knows a place. She takes them to a water tower, where they bid Aquamarine goodnight and leave. Claire and Haley spend the night in Haley's room, where Haley tells Claire that she really needs the wish. However, Haley is a bit skeptical that Raymond will fall in love with Aquamarine in 2 days. Claire then suggests that they get her better outfits than wearing Haley's t-shirt all the time. So Haley tells her that they'll take the first bus to Tampa and go shopping. After having so much fun shopping and getting their hair done, they return home. But Aquamarine makes a fuss about not having any earrings to wear. Claire then offers her, but Aquamarine prefers starfish for earrings, mostly because they compliment her, literally. She takes the girls to the water, where she claims they can find starfish, but only Haley goes into the water to get it, since Claire is scared. While she's in the water, Aquamarine explains to Claire how she found out about love. She tells her about a certain couple she saw years ago and how they looked at each other. Judging from her descriptions of the couple in the story, Claire realizes that Aquamarine had seen Claire's parents before they met their demise, which explains why Claire is so afraid of the water. Aquamarine then tells her that she believes her parents would want her to be friends with life and not be afraid. Later, while the girls are hanging out at a local drink shop, Cecilia's friends break it to Aquamarine that Raymond had asked Cecilia to the dance, so she shouldn't bother wasting her time. This upsets Aquamarine so much that she vents her anger, saying she made a fool of herself believing in love. She runs away, suggesting that she's going home. Claire is devastated because now they won't get their wish. But Haley tells her they're not giving up yet. She tells Claire to go confront Raymond while she goes after Aquamarine. Claire finds Raymond at a pool party and confronts him about blowing Aquamarine off like that. Raymond then explains to her that he found out from Cecilia that Aquamarine has a boyfriend, so he decided to back off. Claire then convinces him that Cecilia lied, causing Raymond to follow her out of the party, disappointed in Cecilia. Meanwhile, Haley explains to Aquamarine that love doesn't always work. She tells Aquamarine about her father leaving her and her mother after claiming he loved them. Thankfully, Haley manages to calm Aquamarine down and treats her to a bath, while they both lament how they don't need boys. While they're at it, Raymond shows up. He then waits on the balcony for Aquamarine to dry herself up and join him. After Raymond leaves, Aquamarine informs the girls that Raymond has asked her out to the local dance, and the girls celebrate. That evening, the girls are only able to watch from a distance how Aquamarine interacts with Raymond. Haley meets her mom at the dance and finds out how it took her mom 10 years to finally land the job that's making them move, and she starts to rethink her decision about wanting to stay. Of course, without Claire's knowledge. Meanwhile, the two lovebirds share a drink, and Raymond even teaches Aquamarine how to dance. While they're dancing, Cecilia shows up and tries to ruin things, but Claire and Haley tell her off. Aquamarine soon gets carried away with spending time with Raymond, but thanks to Claire and Haley, she's reminded that it's almost sundown. She kisses Raymond goodbye and asks him to meet her at the pier the next day before leaving with the girls. Unfortunately, the girls are followed by Cecilia and her nosy friends. After the girls leave Aquamarine, Cecilia goes up to investigate and finds out that Aquamarine is a mermaid. Petrified, she locks Aquamarine up and goes back to her car, only to realize that her friends have left her behind. She then goes back to the water tower and pulls off the ladder to prevent Aquamarine from having any access back down. She returns to the party on foot and tries to tell her friends that Aquamarine is a mermaid, but only ends up making a fool of herself. Obviously, who would believe that a mermaid exists? Everyone laughs at her delusion, including her friends, who no longer wish to be associated with her. Meanwhile, Leonard had heard her and strongly believed that she might not be lying. Later that night, Leonard confirms his suspicions about the pendant he found and realizes that they're truly dealing with a mermaid. Meanwhile, Haley goes through a brochure concerning her mom's work and starts to realize that she may not have been fair to her mom by considering her own feelings about everything. The following morning, Cecilia rushes to her dad to inform him about a girl crying in the water tank and tells him he has to help. Haley takes her pet goldfish to Claire's house to ask Claire if she can look after it for her, but Claire doesn't want to hear it. She still believes that their wish will be granted and Haley will get to stay. But Haley suggests that they can wish for something else, which provokes Claire into asking whether they should wish for a new best friend. Haley then gets annoyed and yells at Claire for not being understanding and giving her the impression that she's her mom. Claire also lashes out, and both girls get into a big argument, causing Haley to leave. As Haley leaves, Claire sees the news about a girl about to be rescued by firefighters from the same water tank where Aquamarine is supposed to be. She then rushes after Haley to inform her. Both girls then ride their bikes to the site, where they find Cecilia giving her statement about hearing the girl cry. Claire and Haley are worried, but seeing that the latter is gone, the only thing they can do is stand and wait for the reveal to happen before everyone. Fortunately for the girls, and unfortunately for Cecilia, all the firefighters can find is an inflatable dolphin that Raymond had given Aquamarine on their first hangout. Once again, Cecilia not only ends up embracing herself, but also her father and the news station. As a result of that, Cecilia gets her car keys taken away from her. Her dad then tells her that she can try and figure out why she wants so much attention every day that she has to walk to school. Haley and Claire then laugh at her and leave to go find Aquamarine. Meanwhile, Aquamarine is busy laughing at Cecilia with Leonard. It turns out that after Leonard found out that she's a mermaid, and that Cecilia also found out, he knew Cecilia would be up to no good and decided to help Aquamarine. She thanks him for helping her, and Leonard tells her it's nothing. He also tells her that it's nice to have someone to talk to around here. He also returns the pendant to her and gets a warm hug from the young lady. However, the result of helping a mermaid is getting a wish, so Aquamarine grants him one wish. Meanwhile, Haley and Claire meet at the bottom of the pier, where Raymond seems to have been waiting for Aquamarine. Finally, Aquamarine shows up, and before Raymond can say anything, she asks him if he loves her. Raymond tells her he likes her since they've only gone on one date, but he's willing to get to know her more. However, that wasn't the answer Aquamarine needed. She gets heartbroken and turns to leave, but they get interrupted by Cecilia, who pushes Aquamarine into the water to reveal her true form to Raymond. But Raymond still chooses Aquamarine over Cecilia and rushes to get his rescue board to save her. However, Aquamarine's dad gets impatient and summons a storm, which he uses to start dragging Aquamarine back home. Haley and Claire immediately run after her, and Claire finally gets the courage to go into the water willingly. Both girls swim up to Aquamarine to surprise her. She asks the girls why they would risk their own lives to save her, and they explain to her that they love her, and this was just what Aquamarine's father needed to hear. The storm immediately clears up thanks to the love of friendship. The girls also receive their wish, but decide not to use it to prevent Haley from moving away, because Haley admits that her mother has worked so hard for the job in Australia. Instead, they save the wish and bid Aquamarine goodbye after she promises to visit. Raymond catches up with them and also asks her to visit him, and they kiss. Back on the shore, Raymond thanks the girls with a kiss on the cheeks for their bravery and for introducing him to Aquamarine. Both girls get overexcited and tell each other they'll miss each other before finally going their separate ways. And this is the end. This was a recap of the 2006 movie Aquamarine by Elizabeth Allen, starring Emma Roberts, Joanna Jojo Levesque, and Sarah Paxton. So how many of us didn't think that the power of love also applied to friendship and not only to couples? Also, what if Haley decided to be selfish and just made the wish to stay? What do you think would have happened? Let us know in the comments below with #CinemaRecap. Until next time.